coding to dating, from killing to racing, from shooting to bully, everything starts from Rockstar Games. No one can ever imagine the big games without Rockstar Games, so today we're going to take a look at the top 10 best Rockstar games. Welcome back to the Gaming Daily Input. Lay back and enjoy this video because we will begin with number 10, Midnight Club Los Angeles. This is an open-world racing game developed and published by Rockstar. The game is very similar to Need for Speed Most Wanted, and in this game you have tons of cars to choose from. And yes, you can also free roam in the city or even customize your own vehicle. Plus, there's a day and night circle in the sky. It is the fourth installment in the Midnight Club series. The game features 43 cars and 4 motorcycles. The open-world map of Los Angeles is the size of all 3 cities from the previous installments combined. New additions are a 24-hour day-to-night cycle, weather effects, and traffic with licensed vehicles, adding a realistic aspect to the game. The new dynamic weather system has been reported to alter the gameplay experience. Number 9. GTA Chinatown Wars. Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars is an open-world game that features epic storyline, with tons of side missions, addictive mini-games, and hidden collectibles. In this game, you can do all the stuff that you do in the other GTA games, but in the top-down view. The game's story follows the adventures of Huang Li, the spoiled son of a tried boss, following the murder of his father and the theft of their family sword. Huang begins to work for several high-profile figures in Liberty City's agent scene to find the truth behind his father's death and the sword. Upon release, Chinatown Wars was critically acclaimed by critics, with praise directed towards its gameplay, mission design, visuals, and general quality as a mature-rated handheld game, although it also saw controversy for its inclusion of a drug-dealing minigame. Number 8. Bully. This is an open-world action-adventure game where players control teenager Jamie Hopkins, a student who is intellectually enrolled at One Part Academy. He discovers that the school is filled with bullies and becomes determined to bring peace, ultimately becoming more respected among the town group. Bully Anniversary Edition comes complete with everything from the original release as well as traditional classes missions, characters, and more. Its world is navigated on foot, scooter, bicycle, or go-kart. In the Scholarship Edition, a 2-player competitive multiplayer mode lets 2 players compete for the highest score in different classes. The game was involved in controversy for its violence and homosexual content. Bully received positive reviews, with praise directed at the game's missions, narrative, as well as the characters and their development. Criticism was only towards its presentation and glitches. The original version of Bully sold over 1.5 million copies and received multiple year-end accolades. Number 7. Smugglers 1. The game series that would eventually give Angel Studios its title of Rockstar San Diego, Smugglers 1 was one of the PS2 earlier titles. Playing as a smuggler in border towns and desert ridges is a lot of fun. Whether you're a fan of this game or its sequel Hostile Territory, you're gonna have a blast. In the game, the player plays as a smuggler who has a number of different vehicles at his disposal, including dune buggies, rally cars, and military vehicles. The vehicles are used to smuggle assorted cargo through 3 different large open levels. Your objective is to smuggle a car. You've got the forest, desert, snow, and get about 10 different missions per level, and in all these missions you have to evade border control CIA and rival smuggling gangs, and you just got to get to your checkpoint. Number 6. The Warriors. It's actually based on a movie by the same name that was released in 1979, and the game is almost a perfect rendition of this movie, except it is in a video game. It takes place in 1979, as well as it's somewhat of a prequel which takes place a few years before the movie, which is pretty cool. And basically, we're in New York City and we're accused of killing a rival gang leader, and we need to make our way from one end of New York from our rival turf to the other side of the city, which is our turf. The only thing that stands between us and surviving is 20 miles and thousands of street gang members, and throughout the game we get to tag our own turf, take it over, beat up these just armies of gangs in an attempt to own the streets and take them over, making it a very fun and very exciting game. Number 5. Max Payne. Max Payne is a third-person shooter video game series developed by Rockstar Studios. The series is named after its protagonist, Max Payne, a New York City police detective turned vigilant after his family had been killed by drug dealers. The first two Max Payne games weren't actually developed by Rockstar, but the third one was helmed by Rockstar and it's arguably the best one in the series. Set in the sun-drenched backdrop of South Pole, Brazil, the gameplay consists of Max Payne's trademark bullet time leaps as he's thrown into Brazil in a plot with multiple twists and turns. Shoot, dodge, and Max Payne's signature maneuver, which allows him to dive through the air using bullet time to avoid enemy fire while also returning fire. The Max Payne franchise has sold over 9.5 million copies worldwide. Number 4. Manhunt. Manhunt is a psychological horror stealth video game that was released in 2007. Also, it is a sequel to 2003 Manhunt. Content of the game is based around having to execute people in the most brutal ways possible. That being said, if you've got the stomach for it, the tense stealth experience is really exhilarating from start to finish. The game follows Daniel Lamb, a mental patient suffering from amnesia, as he tries to uncover his identity, and Leo Casper, a sociopathic assassin who guides Daniel in his journey. This is the most controversial game to date, being banned in multiple countries due to its graphically violent content. Number 3. LA Noire. A neo-noir detective action-based adventure video game released in 2007, and if I'm correct, I believe this game was actually developed by Team Bondi and then published by Rockstar Games. It's a great game in my opinion, and also at the same time one of Rockstar's most underrated games at times. This game can be frustrating, but at times it can also be very intensifying. It takes place in Los Angeles in 1947. The game follows the story of Detective Cole Phillips, who rises among the tanks of Los Angeles Police Department as he solves a range of cases across 5 divisions, until being tasked with investigating a morphine distribution ring that involves several of his former squad mates during World War II. The plot is very great and the build-up to the ending is awesome. If you haven't played it, definitely check it out, it's definitely worth your time now. Number 2. Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is set during the decline of the American frontier in the year 1911 and follows John Marston, a former outlaw whose wife and son are taken hostage by the government in ransom for his services as a hired gun. Having no other choice, Marston sets out to bring 3 members of his former gang to justice. Just a very great game and an epic masterpiece. And what's even better is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is also out. If you need to take a break from the game's addictive storyline, there are certainly a plethora of extras to do, from hunting to classic gun dueling or Texas poker. Number 1. GTA Grand Theft Auto. Be it GTA 5 or GTA San Andreas, every GTA game is a revolution in itself. San Andreas dwarfed the previous entries in the series, rounding out the complete package as an era of celebrity appearances, with the most notable being from Samuel L. Jackson. The game features references to many real-life elements of the world, such as its cities, regions, and landmarks, with its plot heavily based on several real-life events in Los Angeles in the early 1990s, including the rivalry between real-life street gangs, the 1980s early the 1990s crack epidemic, the Laptop Rampart scandal, and the 1992 Los Angeles riots. According to Rockstar Games, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas had sold 27.5 million copies worldwide. That's my list of the top 10 Rockstar games ever released. If you did enjoy it, then turn that thumbs up button blue. Also, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss out on another daily. I'll catch you guys in the next video.